This one's going to be quick and to the point. I'm going to be talking about why things get worse before they get better. I don't know what's going on. I feel like there's something in the air, but I've had an abundance of people coming to me needing help. Their life is falling apart. They're sad and they don't know why. All the things is happening. So I want to talk about this. And I even in my Reality Hacker course, I have a module. The first module, it's like a bonus module. It's almost, I don't want to call it like a warning, but it's a little bit of a warning for when you set an intention, you're going to manifest something. Because usually there's going to be some rough patches along the way. But if you have the right perspective and you understand what's going on, then you're not going to feel so bothered by it, and you're going to be able to weather that storm with maybe a little bit more joy and happiness in your heart, because it's actually a good thing. So why do things get worse before they get better? Why does this happen? Clients will come to me and they'll be like, I set my intention and now everything seems to be falling apart. Isn't my life supposed to be getting better? Isn't it supposed to be improving? And lo and behold, things start to crumble. So when this happens, I want to tell you right now, it's time to get excited. When you start to begin to understand manifestation, you've been following me for a while, maybe you're my clients. Hey, Philip. You want to create some more magic in your life, you want to make more money, you want to attract the love of your life, all these things, and you're starting to be like, okay, I'm going to take control. You feel empowered, you're setting goals, you're doing all these things in order to improve and to grow and to go for your dreams. And then things seem to go haywire. You could start to lose friends. Your family can, there can be more conflict in your family. Maybe you lose your job. Maybe you get into some financial craziness of some kind. You could even experience different shifts and changes in your physical body. The reason that this happens is that the version of you and the life that you are living, the way that what you've created now is different from the version of you that has what you want and is living the life that you want. So there's certain things in this current reality of yours that need to go in order for you to get what you want. And a lot of times you will say the things that you want, but you won't actually do it yourself. So then the universe will help you. You might say, I need to manifest some new friends. Your current friends might be not the greatest influence, and maybe they're not encouraging to you, and you're like, okay, I need new friends, but you're attached to your old friends. This is a piece of that's why I've talked about letting go. This is important. We have to be able to let go, even though we might think this is the best thing for me now. It's really holding us back for something that we actually is better for us, that we really, really want. So you want to manifest a new community, new friends, but you're holding on to your old ones. So along comes the assistance of energy and all these things that happen, and you'll start to notice, you could get in a big fight with your friends, or there could be some kind of blow up in your community, and it's in the moment, it doesn't feel good, and you're like, oh, this turmoil and conflict, but really it's a way of beginning to release those things in your life that aren't in alignment with what you said you desire and the things that you want for yourself, and this different frequency that you want to tune into. So this can happen. You might say, I don't like my job. I want a new job. I want, or I want to start my own business. And you are in this job that you don't like, but it's kind of secure, it's kind of comfy, you're able to pay your bills and all this kind of thing, but you said you want a different job, you're not happy in this one. And all of a sudden, you get fired, or there's a big blow up at work or something like that, and you're, oh no, my life is falling apart, but you're actually getting what you want because you weren't doing it on your own. So the universe is pushing you into what it is that you said that you desire. This is one way to look at it, and it is really, it's exciting if you see that this is what is happening. You are getting what you want. You can also look at this as frequency and vibration. I talk about this to no end. Sometimes I wonder if you guys get tired of hearing this, but repetition is the mother of all learning, so here we go again. You have a goal. You have a thing that you want. You want to experience. It might be freedom, it might be more money, it might be love, whatever it is. It's something that you want it because of what it feels like to have it. You want to feel secure, you want to feel love, you want to feel free, you want to feel abundant, you want to feel secure, you want to feel all these things. These are frequencies and that we label as those things. So they feel good to us, and so we want to feel that. So using this map of consciousness, we've got a range of emotions here. These emotions up here, like joy and love and peace and that kind of stuff, those are of higher vibrations. It's not higher, it's just different, but we're using higher for easier explanation. So your goal exists on a frequency up here. but you are possibly tuned into lack and limitation and fear and anger and bitterness and frustration and anxiety and all this kind of stuff, which are frequencies in these lower levels. It's on a different frequency than what you've said that you want. So what do we got to do? Because the law of attraction is like attracts like. So you got to tune into the frequency of what you want. If you're not doing it on your own, if you're not beginning to practice things like gratitude and letting go of bitterness and anger and fear and resentment and all these kinds of things, you're going to get pushed. You're going to get squeezed so that shit is going to hit the fan so that you deal with this stuff. So if you're really tuned into things like rejection and low self-worth and you don't deserve things and whatever, now there's going to be experiences that are going to come at you, that are going to show to you, they're going to mirror back to you what's going on within yourself. People are going to reject you. People are going to treat you, like you're not valuable or anything. So you can see, I've got this going on within myself and I need to heal this. I need to face this and tune my vibration into I am valuable. I am worthy, I am abundant, I am successful, I am powerful, I am amazing, all these things so that you shift your vibration into what it is that you desire. And so that's why it can seem like all this crazy stuff is happening. It's so that you get out of where you currently are into where you want to go. And it's wonderful, it's great, and it's exciting. It's in the moment, especially if you don't know what's going on. It can be scary, it can be like overwhelming, it can be frustrating. This is happening as a collective on our planet. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit for those who want a little more interesting, more in-depth kind of look at this. But it's really you're being pushed into what you want because you're not necessarily taking the initiative on your own. And that is really a good thing. So, number 2, another reason that we see this happen where things are difficult before our manifestation seems to come about is the law of polarity. I've talked about this law quite a bit. It's the law of, it's also called the law of opposites. For every left, there's a right, up, there's a down, black, white, light, dark, good, evil, all that kind of stuff. Your existence ebbs and flows with this law as well. Anybody who's been incredibly successful, for the most part, you're gonna read their biography and see like where they've come from, and they were bankrupt, they were sleeping on their friend's couch, they were homeless, all kinds of things have happened where they experienced a real rock bottom or low moment, which is the very thing that catapulted them into their success. In these moments of difficulty, seeds are born. That's not the right word. Like seeds are planted or ideas happen for your success. It's another squeeze and it's another way of pushing. Like when we're in those pinching moments, like between a rock and a hard place, whatever, that's when that creative stuff comes out, those creative juices and that adrenaline and things like that are like, give us the idea for, some of the greatest successes that we've seen. So this is actually, someone had told me before, I always want to save people. I don't want them to get hurt. I don't want them to have to go through difficult things. And I was told, don't rob someone of their rock bottom. And Napoleon Hill talked about this in the Law of Success in 16 Lessons. He's like, one of the best things that can happen to a person is to be born poor. Because if you're born in like comfort, you kind of just stay in comfort, middle class or whatever. But when you are born where things are really, really difficult, it's those people that get this burning desire to escape that. And that's the gift for them to propel them towards their success. So the law of polarity, things can be really difficult, but it's, that there's the opposite that's coming for you. I've heard this, I think, from Kevin Trudeau. If things were really difficult, he would break out a bottle of champagne because he knew that there was something really amazing around the corner, so why wait to celebrate? And I would encourage you guys to do that. In fact, I told one of my clients this last week. I'm not going to give her name because I haven't asked her permission to tell this story, but she was having difficulty in her business, and she's like, these people are coming at me with these complaints, and we've been accused of these things. She's like, I've dealt with everything, but it's just, I don't know why all this stuff is happening. And I told her the same story about, you know what, it's time for you to break out a bottle of champagne because something really exciting is around the corner. This is the law of polarity. This is how it works. Lo and behold, a week later, I get a message from her, and she got a grant for $3 million for her company, and she's on the news, and everything's happening. It's beautiful and wonderful. So I was like, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I told you so. This is how it works. So if you are one of those people, and I know a lot of us have been through a difficult time, especially these last couple of years, if you're feeling the crunch, if you're feeling like things are hard right now and you're going through a lot of stuff, I do really want to encourage you to get excited. This is the birthing and the beginning of greatness for you. And if you can hold on to that truth, it will help you through the process of these difficult times, because I know it can be challenging. The better you get at shifting perspectives, the easier it gets, and the more you understand this is what is going on, the more this will continue to happen throughout your life, the more you can be observing it without it like tearing your world apart, because really good things are happening. So those are the two main ones I want to share with you today. But I also want to give a shout out to Joel with Clouds something, K-L-O-U-D-S. I don't know if it's like entertainment or something. He put on the rave, him along with his friend, that rave at the Freedom Forest rave that I went to. And it was awesome. We had so much fun, and it was just lots of fun dancing. And he puts on going to be putting more events on. So for those in Winnipeg, follow Clouds. And if you're like, I want to know who this is, just message me, because I can send you his Instagram, and then you guys can come dance with me on the next one. I think it's gonna be in maybe the next month or so, or two. So it was fun dancing with you last. Was that Saturday? Saturday, Joel. Okay, and then the third thing, for those of you who are like interested in going maybe a little bit deeper, if you're like, this is enough, Megan, just turn this off. But for those who want maybe a little bit more, another thing I want to talk about is we are shifting as a collective, as a globe, as a planet into, you might have heard it is 5D or the new Earth and things like that. So we actually have a pumping of energy coming at our planet. I don't know the right way to say it. You can even go and look on NASA, and they're talking about the universe is expanding faster than what they predicted and what it should be at this time. Everything is for expansion and fuller expression, including you. That's just the way of nature. Everything is growing. A tree has many thousands of seeds that have trees in them with thousands of seeds. It's always expanding. So is our universe, but it's happening faster. Manifestation is happening like 8 times faster than it was maybe 50 years ago. And so we are being pushed to ascend. And in simple terms, basically, we kind of have these two paths that we can go down. We can stay in what some would call 3D, where it's like the heaviness, it's the fear, it's the anxiety, the stress, the bitterness, the anger, the duality and the frustration and the fighting and all that kind of thing. You know, the fear, all that stuff that's propelled through the news and everything like that. Or you can choose a life where you're in gratitude, where it non-judgment, acceptance, love, peace, joy, kindness, freedom. And you might think that you don't have a choice in this, but I'm telling you, it's all within the way that you think and how you choose to perceive what is happening. So you can almost look at these earths as overlaying the 3D and the 5D. And we want as many people in the 5D as we can, because what's going to happen is there's going to be like more, I don't know if the separation is the right word, but like they're kind of overlaid like now, and it's almost like they're going to be like this. I know this isn't the best way of explaining it, but it's the best way I have. And it will then get harder to shift from 3D to 5D. So, and vice versa. So if you're in 5D, it's going to get easier and easier to stay there. If you're in 3D, it's going to be easier and easier to stay there, and harder. It's going to take a lot more in effort and energy in order to get yourself into that space of feeling good and happiness and freedom and joy and peace and all that kind of thing. So, doesn't it make sense? Whoever is behind all this, God, intelligence, infinite source, whatever name you want to use, that we want to get as many people as we can on track and into a place of happiness, joy, and peace. So you can understand even the crunch that we've been experiencing. And haven't you noticed a lot of people have released things that are no longer serving them and are starting to do what they're passionate about, are starting to choose healthier and better relationships, have let go of toxic relationships, have gone within. You know, we were in lockdown and weren't allowed to go and do all this kind of stuff. So you had to sit home and face yourself. So there's been a lot going on that if you, in a little while, you probably be able to look back with a lot of gratitude, because it's going to have put you on a path to love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gratefulness, all those kinds of things. And that's beautiful and that's wonderful. So it is boiled for the gold to rise to the top. the boiling process, it's not our attacker. It's not always easy, but it's actually there to help us on the journey, and it's something to be truly grateful for. The people that are difficult in your life, the situations that are challenging for you, they are your greatest gifts and your greatest teachers. So don't lose heart. Don't feel like everything is falling apart. No, this is good. It's really, really good. And I want you to be excited for all that is to come. These are the things that make you who you are, that give you what you want, that prepare you for the success. You know, if you're kind of just like a scared, weak, wussy little person, how are you going to sustain and handle these beautiful and wonderful dreams that you have that take power and take courage and confidence? It's just part of the training. It's just part of the process. Your soul came here to have an adventure anyways. You know, you'd be bored if it was just all easy peasy. So be a little bit more light about it and begin to like see it differently and see it as something really exciting. You're going through the refining fire. You're going to come out with gold and diamonds and all that beautiful stuff on the other side. So I love you guys. Don't lose heart. If you just jumped on, make sure you go back and watch this from the beginning. There are really, really good things in store for you. We've got amazing stuff coming around the corner, and it's getting better and better each and every day. If you notice emotions coming up for you and they're just bubbling up, let them out. Cry. Punch your pillow. Express them, and whatever you need to do. Let things go that just are weighing heavy on you, relationships that are harmful to you and toxic and everything. Learn from it. Don't keep creating it. Learn, why am I attracting this in my life? Why am I experiencing this? What's going on within myself that this is being mirrored back to me? I would really encourage you to get into my course or like connect with me in some sort of way so you know what I'm talking about if that's confusing to you, because then once you release it and you let it go, you're going to see it doesn't show up in your life anymore. But it's when we don't learn and we don't shift and change that we're like, why do I keep experiencing these difficult things? Well, that's why that's going on. So if things are getting a little bit hard, you should get excited because it's really good things in store. I love you all very much. Have yourself an amazing rest of the week, and keep your eyes peeled. I have some exciting news coming up in the next couple weeks or so, and something free for you guys to partake in. And it's going to be really, really awesome, something new and different. Have yourself an amazing week. We will talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.